So John Venn was an English mathematician, and he invented something called a Venn diagram. And we use these, of course, in all different subjects. We use them in English to compare and contrast, in science and social studies and so forth. But in mathematics, it's a way to organize data. And so here's a problem that Venn may have written, and it said, or applying what he wrote, and it says, student athletes were surveyed to see whether they played basketball, soccer, or both, and 100 students were surveyed. So the first thing that's you need to observe here is if I were to add these numbers up, 56, 24, and 68, that is way more than 100. So how can we have all these people who are doing these things, but it's more than 100? And so that's how we come into a Venn diagram. The best way to go about tackling a Venn diagram is to look for what would be the most specific or your overlap. So the most overlapped place. And so here, if we've got these 24 kids who were playing basketball and soccer, that means that if this kid is playing basketball and soccer, it's just one kid. So I'm going to put the 24 in here. So when I look at a Venn diagram, I need to think about this here as being my basketball circle. And in my basketball circle, I already have 24 kids who are in the gym playing basketball, but there are a total of 56 kids. So the number that would go in this part of the Venn diagram is 56 minus 24, because these 24 kids are already in the gym playing. So 56 minus 24, that's 32. So 32 kids just play basketball. 56 kids all play basketball. And then I look at the other circle here, and I see that 24, remember we've got those 24 kids who are already in the gym, and then we've got soccer players. So 68 kids play soccer. So if 24 kids are already there, they need to be subtracted from the 68, so it's going to be 44 kids here. So now if I add these three numbers up, 32, 24, and 44, 44 and 24, that's 68, 70, 100. That's how I get my 100 kids. So when you remember, when you're solving a Venn diagram, you want to go from the most specific, the thing that's overlapped the most, and then work your way out. So here's a second Venn diagram, and now you see we've got three different things that are being compared. We've got the choir, the orchestra, and the band. And so you would want to begin here, the kids who are involved in all three activities, because that's going to start you off, and then you need to compare that to the kids who are in then the choir and the orchestra, and then the kids who are in the orchestra and the band, and then the kids who are only in orchestra will be these extra kids who don't do the choir and orchestra, the three things, or the band and the orchestra.